Hey guys, what's up? It's Badfish4650 on all of your social media platforms. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we got them all. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the Lightning Kayak Strike, an honest review. I know there's a lot of other reviews out there. This is coming from a bigger guy. I am 6'1", 300 pounds. This kayak has a weight rating of 410 pounds. It is 12 foot 6 inches long. I think it's like 34 inches wide. And overall, it's a nice platform. But once again, we're going to do a quick review. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of it so you guys can see how I got mine set up for now, and also what my future plans are for it, and you know, some honest reviews. So stay tuned. This is the Lightning Kayak Strike. Literally just got it, I believe, on Wednesday. So it's not, I haven't had it for too long. Today was actually the maiden voyage on it. We got some pretty good information. So let's walk around the kayak. I'll show you some different, you know, so how I have it set up, some different features of the kayak, so forth and so on. So first things first, when you get to the bow of the boat, you'll notice that there's a nice big molded in handle there. It really does help a ton when loading and unloading it, because we put it on a truck rack. So that helps big time getting it up there. Also, if you notice the hull, it's kind of got like that bona fide feel free style hull. Hey look, we got some visitors with us today. What's up, guys? Alright, so in the front hatch, let me take this off. This hatch liner is extra. You got to purchase this separately. However, if you buy it from Lightning Kayaks online, they give you a discount. I think normally this thing is like $59.99 or something like that. I think I got like a 15 or 20% discount on it. And then underneath this is your access to your hull. And people say they can slide fishing poles down in there. I don't know if I'd be willing to risk that, but especially with the drive well right in the way. Now, a couple things with this that I've noticed. For one, I know this is like kind of an entry-level budget kayak. This thing retails for $17.99. It costed me $120 on top of that to ship it. So it's kind of a budget kayak, kind of not. I mean, I guess for a pedal style kayak, yeah, it's a pretty good price, but you know, you just got to look at what you're looking for. Now, one thing I was going to do is add a piece of strap or paracord or something for this hatch, because if you let it go, it flaps all the way open. And if you're a bigger guy like me, you'll never be able to get that thing shut while you're on the water. So I was going to put a piece of paracord on it, so it would only open to about that much. Let's go and get that. But you know, that's the only real downside I have to this kayak as far as the front hatch goes, is that everything else seems to be pretty good. Like you said, it's made in the USA, Minnesota. It's got the same type of Hobie strap down system, just like the Hobie Pro Angler does. So then, here's my drive. We'll talk about the drive in a minute. One thing I did like about this kayak is that all the little bungee slots, even the ones on the side that hold your paddle and all that, they have an extra little hole in the bottom. So what I did on that one, I put my leash for my drive. Now, the drive we'll get to in a minute. I'm not going to get into that right now. So here is the footwell here, the deck area. Now, this is one of the biggest issues. Like I said, this kayak has a weight rating of 410 pounds, right? I mean, I've had Hobie Pro Anglers, I've had Hobie Outbacks, I've had Jackson Kayak Big Rigs, I've had Jackson Kayak Kraken, I've had Viking Pro or Pro Reload. I've had a lot of kayaks, and for this one, the weight rating does not seem to be legitimate. The reason I say this is because I'm 300 pounds. I took the kayak out just like you see it. No gear, no nothing, just literally me, the seat, the paddle, the drive, and my bottle of water there. And I had water splashing up through the footwell so much that if I opened that hatch in the middle here, this hatch, it would get in there if I opened it. So, you know, that for me is a big downside. You know, when I look, especially with a kayak like this, it doesn't have any dealers, local dealers. You can't water test it at all. So you got to pretty much go off YouTube reviews, and you have to go off regular reviews on the website. And of course, on the website, they're going to have the best reviews ever. And of course, most of the YouTube guys, unless they're don't know, I want to say unless they're honest, they're not sponsored by Lightning in some sort of way or fashion, they're not gonna, I'm not bashing the product by any means. I'm just saying that if you're close to 300 pounds like I am, you might want to consider another option. I mean, because look, these are the rear scuppers. I don't have any scupper plugs in there, but I mean, the rear tank wall is full of water, you know, and you can see the water. It's calm. You know, I wasn't taking water over the bow, nothing like that. So, even under the seat, the scuppers under the seat, they were filling up with water, almost splashing through. So, I don't believe that the 410 pound weight rating on this is accurate. I do know that that also includes the weight of the kayak, which is about 80 pounds, you know, all your gear, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, those are just things to consider when you're purchasing this kayak. So, moving on, same exact Hobie style tank well or drive well there. You know, you slide the drive in, you pull the things forward to pull it out. That's it. You got your rudder controls there, which tend to work. You got your rudder line, and then you got your rudder controls here. And on this side, now they do sell a second kit to put the rudder on, or the handle on the right side as well. But I've noticed that I can also steer with that little knob. So I don't know why they didn't just put a regular knob on that side, because it still turns and still activates the rudder left and right. So I don't understand why they didn't just put one of these on that side, call it a day, have dual side rudder controls, and be done with it. So moving back to the front, you have the aluminum Yak Attack style gear tracks. You have foot braces on both sides, Yak Attack gear tracks on both sides. You have cup holders on both sides. Then you have the seat. Now the seat is hit or miss. I mean, like as you can see, I put this pad on there just because I didn't really find the seat comfortable. You know, coming from a Hobie, you know, Hobie seats are cream of the crop. One thing I noticed with this one, you know, the top, that black spot on the top of the seat tends to dig into your back with the pipe. The bottom of the seat has no padding in it almost whatsoever. I mean, it's not a bad seat. I mean, it's much better than like that seat that's on my son's Tamarack over there. But it's not the best seat, you know what I mean? Like, if you're paddling and pedaling all day in this seat, it tends to be, for me, it would probably be a little uncomfortable. You know, the pad, this pad I have helps tremendously with the butt part of it, but the back part, pushing against the pedals and pushing against the footholds and stuff, it would probably end up, you know, wearing your back out by the end of the day. So how the seat goes on is basically there's a strap that goes under the seat. It's similar to what Jackson Kayak uses on their kayaks. And basically, it attaches back there. Got my bottle there. Attaches right there. Goes on top of the rails of the seat on the bottom, and then straps down at the front. Now in the back here, you have a nice open area. You have a nice area there. Oh, one thing I noticed that a lot of other reviews didn't talk about. You have handles in here. You have a handle right there to grab on, but also this little track right here, you can put your Plano tackle boxes in. So you don't, like my Pro Angler had that. My Pro Angler also had the hatch above in the front of the seat, but also those things come in handy if you don't want to, you know, fish real heavy with the fish box and all that. You can grab a couple Plano boxes, throw them in there, throw them under your seat. As long as it doesn't get too wet, you should be good. Back here, it's got two angled fishing pole holders. They angle out. So when you put them in there, instead of them angling back, they angle out. Now, I don't know if there's a restriction inside the hull or something that makes it so they can't. They're kind of more like outrigger style, like trolling style ones. However, this isn't really like an offshore kayak, so I don't know why they would angle those out instead of back. I would prefer them back just because, you know, streamlining of the kayak, you know, if you're launching and fishing them along the mangroves and stuff, it would be a lot easier to have them back, that way they don't get snagged into trees and stuff. But the other cool part is you can add, if you want to add like another 3 or 4 there, you could without a problem. Or you can make like a custom PVC one like most guys do. But so these tracks I added because I have this Yak Gadget, the shallow water anchor system. I'll put another review up on this, but this is pretty cool. I do have some concerns and comments about that as well, though, you know, just perfectly honest comments. But we'll talk about that. Basically, it just attaches to your Yak Attack gear tracks. And that's really it. So the rear tank well has a access hatch in the back. Well, it's not really a hatch, it's just kind of a cover. I suppose if you wanted to order a 6-inch hatch, you could replace that. And underneath there, that square hatch is for your rudder controls and adjustments. So that's the rear tank. I can fit my Jackson Kayak J crate back there with no problems. It comes with the, I'm assuming it's like marine mat or sea deck or some style padding that goes there. Another big carry handle in the back. You have your bung for draining the hull if it gets full of water. Walk around to the other side. You have paddle holders on both sides of the kayak. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it. So let me go ahead and bring her out on the water and I'll show you some more things about her. All right, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so now let's talk about the drive here. So this is the, they call it the Freedom Drive. Basically what it is a Hobie, I believe version 1 drive. So when this comes from the manufacturer, Lightning Kayaks, when it comes from them, it's basically going to be, it's lightweight. It comes with straps on the foot pedals, which I don't use. And it also comes with the version 1 fins. Now I upgraded these to the ST Turbo fins, which is super easy to do. It took me 10 minutes. And then I took the drive itself and I basically lubed the whole thing, cleaned it all up, tightened all the bolts and nuts. Because there were some reviews on the Lightning Kayaks owners page on Facebook of the drives actually falling apart while people were on the water. It wasn't me firsthand, so I can't really elaborate on what happened. And I believe Lightning made it right, but I saw that review before I got my kayak, and I basically went through the whole drive and cleaned everything up, made sure everything was nice and tight and lubed and clean and everything, so I didn't have to worry about that coming out and losing a fin or losing a pedal or a wire coming off or anything like that. But the drive works great. It actually is a lot quieter than my 180 drive that I have from Hobie. It's actually a lot nicer. Well, I wouldn't say a lot nicer, but it's different technology. The 180 drive obviously has reverse. This thing with the turbo fins, it moves. I mean, I could probably easily pedal it at about 3.5, 4 miles an hour with these fins for a long duration without having to worry about getting too tired and without, kicking my legs straight or anything like that. But like I said, I did go through the drive when I got it, lubed everything up, tightened all the nuts and bolts. There were a few loose nuts on there. And I replaced the fins. So the fins can be had for about $35 on Amazon. I don't remember who I bought them from exactly. They came almost 2 days later after I ordered them. And essentially, without actually showing you how to do it, well, actually I'm going to show you how to do it, but I'm not going to do it. So this little thing right here, this little looks like a keychain. So what you want to do is take a pair of split ring pliers or a pair of needle nose and you unthread it from that pin. You pull that pin out, this whole thing slides off, or the original ones slide off, and these just slide right back on. I used the pin and the snap from Hobie because they're a little bit better quality than the ones that they came with from the factory. But that really did change the drive a lot. It definitely is a lot easier to pedal. Obviously they're about 6 inches longer than the other fins, but it definitely did work really good. So it's a good upgrade to this kayak as well, for relatively cheap, $70. So paddling the kayak is actually pretty easy. It paddles way better than my Hobie Pro Angler did, or my Jackson Big Rig. I mean, it paddles really good for what it is. So, which is good because if my drive fails, which I've also seen happen from the manufacturer, if the drive decides to fail, we can still get back to where we gotta go. So, first things first, let's put the drive in. All right. Pull this guy off. So, pedaling the kayak, as you'll see, pretty easy. Pretty easy. Just like a Hobie or anything else. So, here's the bow. So this is one of my main concerns. One of my biggest concerns with this kayak so far. The 410 pound weight rating, okay? So, as you can see, down in here, all right, the drive well, look at all the water in there. Look at all that water. You guys see that? That is a crazy amount of water, okay? Like if I decided, I live right here by the beach, so if I decided I wanted to go offshore, I mean, this is how it is in normal, like everyday flat conditions, you know? I mean, this is simply a weight rating issue. This is not a hull issue or anything like that. Like if this thing was rated for, say, 300 pounds instead of 350 or 410 like they say it is, this would be more understandable. However, this thing's rated for 410 pounds. So even if I weigh 300 and they say, you know, the kayak weighs 80, I'm still 30 pounds under the weight limit, and this is doing this. And it also fills up the back tank well as well, which I think I can fix that with some scudder, like some, you know, foam tennis balls from Walmart or some scupper plugs. But like this thing, look, I mean, this is just me leaning on the front. You know, if I have to reach into the front hatch, I mean, look at that, it's full. It's covering this hatch. You know, that to me is a big red flag for the honesty portion of this kayak manufacturer. Now, you know, I've watched a ton of reviews on this kayak. I've watched a ton of reviews on this kayak. You know, I do my due diligence before I buy stuff, and you know, especially when you're making kind of a large purchase, because to be honest, with the front hatch, with the kayak and the shipping, this was just under $2,000. So, you know, that's quite of a big investment. I mean, you can pick up a nice used pro angler, or not pro, well, yeah, even a pro angler or an Outback for $2,000, $2,500, you know. So, you know, and my Outback that I had, it's rated for 420 pounds. And I never had this problem with the water coming in the hull. Now, it might be a difference in the hull design and that type of stuff, but you never know. So, other than that, I mean, it's pretty stable. You know, I mean, you can rock it back and forth. Don't have to worry about falling over. I would be very comfortable fishing on this platform if this didn't have this water issue. I mean, if there was some way to fix the water issue in the front, I would do it. You know, it seems like a pretty good kayak, and the reason that I bought it is because I like to fish, you know, after work. You know, I don't want to stick a $4,000 kayak on my truck rack and leave it out in the sun and everything. I bought this because it was about half the price of a Hobie, and I didn't feel bad leaving it on my truck, leaving it in the sun, you know, mainly because of the price point. But I mean, I'm not going to go out after a hard day work and have to worry about if I'm going to sink this thing in perfect conditions, because sometimes I don't fish in perfect conditions. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the kayak. Once again, it's a great value. If you weigh close to 300 pounds or more than 300 pounds, I wouldn't even waste your money or time. And that's just 100% honest opinion. I'm not being paid by anybody. I'm not sponsored by Lightning. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just literally come on here and I give honest, actual, real world reviews. You might like them, you might not, but I'm just giving you, from a consumer standpoint, point of view. So take it as you will, but I appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate everybody watching my videos. If you want any more super duperly honest reviews, let me know. I'm Badfish4650 on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all your social media platforms, and you can reach me on any of them. All right, thanks guys for watching. Have a great one. Hey guys, so we just got back, got all the kayaks cleaned off and everything, and you know, I just want to finish out this video with a solid kind of follow-up on the kayak. We spent a good, probably 3-4 hours on it, doing everything from standing on it, At one point I had me and my 2 kids on there standing up. It didn't last very long, but we still tried it. So the main issue that I have with the kayak is, like I said in the video, is just the amount of water that enters from the drive well into the main floor of the kayak. For 2 reasons. For one, there's a hatch there. I'm worried. The hatch actually stayed dry. There was almost 0 water inside the hole, which was very surprising. But the problem is if like say I keep like my whistle, my first aid kit, and a few other safety things in there. I was going to try to throw my cell phone and keys in there and stuff, but seeing how wet the deck gets, there's no way that I'd be able to even open that to get into it without water pouring into the hole. That is my main issue. If I decide I want to go fishing and not have to worry about water entering the hole itself, I want to be able to do that. So like I said, luckily no water got in the hole, even though everything was soaking wet. That hatch was pretty much underwater the whole time. But, as big as I am, I was able to stand up in the kayak. I was able to walk around the kayak. I was able to reboard the kayak, which is something I had an issue with some of the Hobies because they have the rails and things on the side. It was overall fun. I really did like the kayak, and I am going to try to do a few things to make it work out. But overall, I still think I'm going to try to look into another option. Main reason is, like I said, the amount of water in there. It's just something I can't look past. So I'm going to contact the manufacturer this week. I'm going to see if there's something that they can do, or maybe some suggestions on fixing that issue. I'm also going to play around with some scupper plugs and things like that, seat locations, because it was literally just me with no gear. Now I'm afraid that if I put gear on it, it's going to make it even worse. But I still stand firm in thinking that Lightning Kayak should have made a realistic number as far as the weight rating goes. Because like I said, I'm 6'1", 300 pounds. The kayak is 80 pounds. It's rated for 410 pounds. And if somebody my size decides to get on the kayak, if they don't have any experience in kayaking, there's a very good possibility they could sink it or get hurt. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody, but it's a possibility. I see guys load up kayaks all the time with tons of gear, tons of fishing poles, that type of stuff. I just don't want to see anybody that's my size think that they're going to be getting a kayak that's, for one, going to stay dry, and 2, that they're going to be able to put their stuff in and stay dry, because it's not. But other than that, like I said, I was very, very, very impressed with the stability of the kayak. I actually think that this was more stable than my Pro Angler. I was able to stand up in this kayak. I was able to walk all over this kayak. I was able to basically use it as a paddleboard, which was very, very, very surprising. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I give you guys the most honest reviews I can. So there'll probably be a follow-up video. I'm probably going to end up keeping the kayak. Probably going to maybe fish out of it. I'm not going to bring all my gear. I'm not going to bring my J crate, and I'm not going to bring a bunch of stuff, but maybe a couple Plano, like waterproof Plano tackle boxes, and a couple of fishing poles, and go from there and see what happens. I'm going to get some scupper plugs from somewhere to see if I can keep the water from coming inside the hull, and if I can make sure that the water exits the hull. I'm probably going to get some big like grout sponges from Home Depot to put in the hull, just in case water does get in there. I can evacuate it as quick as possible. So yeah, once again, this is Badfish4650. I'm on obviously YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, pretty much all the social media platforms. So make sure you drop me a follow. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos of fishing gear. I actually have a few other things that are going to be popping up. So make sure you guys, like I said, hit that subscribe button. Give me a follow on some of the other platforms. We're going to be updating, and we're going to start doing some live fishing streams and stuff again. So I appreciate it. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.